Arturas Karnisovas has his season-ending press conference, and one of the prevailing thoughts that we have is that nothing's really changing for the Chicago Bulls anytime soon. We're going to get into it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Pat, AK, we got a lot of season-ending pressures. We got AK, Billy Donovan, Coby, Josh Giddey, Lonzo Ball, Io DeSumo, and Nikola Vucevic all had pressures. But, of course, the prevailing one is AK. And all I got to say to this is, I told you. I told you. For everybody, it was like the Bulls, they're going to take it. Let's trade for a star. Let's do all this. The Bulls ain't doing nothing. One of the things that AK did say is that he does like the timeline that the team is on, that they are planning for the summer of 2026, which always kind of made the most sense. It's a plan for that summer where there are more free agents on the board. And it seems like we could be in store for an offseason where the majority of the team stays the same. You see what you really have in Josh getting Coby White together to start off the year, which I do think is a smart thing. And then you got to make decisions on extensions to Io, extensions to Coby, and then you have that flexibility to kind of play in the free agent market. What do you think about that plan?
I mean, listen, I think as far as plans go, maybe he's telling the truth this time, but probably not. Like, we can't sit here and pretend like AK has stuck to a plan at any point. He's told you he's not going to do much at different times, and I guess that's proven true. But based on what AK has been offered in trade or has tried to trade or hasn't gotten back in trades, like, I don't know. At this point, it's all lip service in these end of season pressers, right? We want to be young. We want to build through the draft. Teams have offered you 1,000 first round picks at this point. You've turned just about every single one of them down, except the ones that you gave away to get those back. Those are the only first round picks that we want. So I don't believe a word that comes out of AK's mouth. AK's not telling Bulls fans the truth. He has the audacity to ask Bulls fans for patience. When I said this on the Breeze yesterday, bro, the Thunder have given up 3 Hall of Famers and have gotten good again in the time span that the Bulls have won their last home playoff game. By the way, we didn't compete for anything serious. That's the last time we won a home playoff game. The Spurs have gotten rid of multiple Hall of Famers and added in Victor Wembanyama and a new young core that may be adding freaking Cooper Flagg to it, which would be insane. Like, there's so many organizations that have gotten rid of people, rebuilt everything, and have gotten back. James Harden was in the Western Conference Finals the last time the Bulls were competitive.
I mean, he's back in the Western Conference.
He's back in the Western Conference. We don't know if he gets to the Western Conference. Although Clippers got a shot. I ain't gonna lie to you. Healthy Kawhi, that's an underdog team. But my point is, like, you're asking Bulls fans for patience. Like, Bulls fans have just been chomping at the bit to get back. Like, we just got off a championship run 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you can't come up to a podium and say, well, I'm asking for patience for the summer of 2026 because that's when things are going to get right. I don't believe you because nothing's been right. And it's just it's all lip service. I credit. I know this is it's taboo on this show to give Joe Cowley credit for anything, but I do credit Joe Cowley for just looking AK in the face and asking tough questions. Hey, is your job at risk? No. All right. Well, hey, is Billy Donovan's job at risk? No. Well, okay. Is anybody getting fired for continuing to F up every day?
Only way, nothing's changing here. The only way. And here's the thing, right?
Really getting promoted,
that's a definite possibility, bro. It's a definite possibility, and that's the thing that's scary about all this as well. Is like I could completely see a world in which they're like, all right, Billy's contract is ending, but there's more. New assistant GM, Billy Donovan. We're bringing in a new head coach, Billy Donovan Jr. No, I don't think Billy Donovan Jr. would be the new head coach, but like,
don't put it past him.
I don't put it past them either. I'm just saying,
they ain't got to change nameplates or nothing. They just be like, you're still just Billy Donovan.
This is Billy Donovan. Yeah, they got to change nothing.
Junior.
Now, if you went to playoff series, that's when it's like, all right, we'll update your name. We'll update your name plate at that point. You win a playoff series, we'll put the Billy Donovan the third on there. But no, all jokes aside, I looking at this, I wasn't surprised by any of it because this is what I've basically thought was going to happen. The moment that the Bulls started winning over the second half of the season, I was out. Nothing's changing. I mean, you got to read the tea leaves. I get it that people put in their hopes and their dreams that this team is always going to do something different. We told you guys who AK was as a GM about 6 months into his tenure here. After that, like, listen, this team, we all know that AK, if there's a glimmer of hope, that's what he's going to bet on, right? This team played really well over the second half of the season. They only got 3 roster spots open, 2 of which are going one each to Josh Giddey and 1 to the new rookie coming in here. This is not an offseason where you're going to see a bunch of change. Maybe you may see Nikola Vucevic moved, but even then, people who think like you're going to move Vooch and attach Javon Carter and attach this and get this back, you're getting a pick back, or you're attaching Javon Carter and getting expiring salary. You're not getting both. It's not happening. And I don't think that Javon Carter is getting attached to the Nikola Vucevic deal at this point either.
Yeah, listen, I think that you can't expect the world, right? You can't expect that AK is going to start moving mountains when he hasn't moved anthill to this point. It took him 4 off seasons before he finally went, hey, man, maybe this team isn't working and we should actually make a trade. AK is the only GM in the NBA. I don't even know how far back it goes. That didn't make a single transaction over an actual calendar year. Like an actual 365 days, AK didn't do.
I don't think that's not that he didn't make a single trade. I know he didn't make a trade in a while, but we made because we signed Goran Dragic.
I guess those do count as transactions. Yeah, he didn't make a trade.
A trade.
I was speaking trades. Like it's not how he's operating is. Exactly. Listen, and we've said this for a while. It's exactly how Denver operated, but I just don't know if it works for the modern NBA unless you get extremely, extremely lucky. And maybe you just did, right? Listen, the one thing that I can say is how this season is right now. I'm confident in where Josh Giddey is at. I think the Bulls are going to pay him. I know a lot of people are sitting there going, well, you've got Josh Giddey, you don't have a star on this team. Well, when he got his opportunity to actually run the team and look and be able to call the shots, he looked pretty freaking good. And he's 22. There's a lot of time that I don't know if he's going to just stop getting better. Maybe he does. But even in a play-in situation, he did have 25, 10, and 4, and probably would have had more than 4 if anybody else could knock down shots. Coby White's a question mark. I don't know what Coby White is. Coby White's inconsistencies showed themselves yet again versus the Miami Heat. But you've got guys who are 22, 24. If you want to look at modest 21, 20. 20.
Be 21 before the start of next season.
All hit this season when you got the mugs out of the way. When you got Zach LaVine, got DeMar DeRozan out of the way. So you're in a better spot. But now it's about how do you improve off of this? And the improvement can't be, let's just stare at these guys and see what happens over the next 6 months.
I mean, it can be, though, to a degree. Like, here's the thing, right? I always try to be the voice of reason. I always try to find some type of logic in what's happening here. It doesn't mean it's going to be successful, but you can still find logic. Like, you should want to see, based off how Josh Giddey and Coby White played after February, it makes sense to want to see, all right, can they do it? Because if they can repeat that and play like that for a full season, that's a backcourt, right? Yeah. Modest could you hope that he's going to take a leap in the second year because he's going to probably come into the season starting, which he didn't do last year. Hopefully Billy Donovan works more actual things in the offense for him, like we started seeing at points, over a few games there in the month of April. So like, if you want to look at it and say, all right, we're seeing if anybody takes a step up and how much of this is real, because the last thing that you want to do is make a move, for example, for like a star, thinking like, all right, this is who they were. Let's make a move for a star. Oh, wait, that was a mirage. Now we're stuck with this roster again with bad contracts. So I do think going into 2025-26 season and using it as a let's see how much of this is real. If it is real, cool. We got draft picks. We got cap flexibility. We got tons of roster spots open in 2026, the summer of 2026. You can make your move there. And at that point in time as well, you'll have a young core that now has a full season of proving what they can do. And now maybe people are more likely to want to come in and join that. And then you can make your move then. So I understand the logic in it. It just sucks that it's coming after a period where we sat on our hands for 3 straight years and got worse each of those 3 years.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think, we got to hit an ad break here, but the big part for me with all of this is I think it's the preaching of patience. Yeah. Patience isn't getting better, right? Patience is give us a second and we're going to figure some stuff out and it's going to be bad while we do it. You're preaching patience. Like, no, you need to be saying going into next season, Josh Giddey, Coby White, and Modest Buzelis won at a 57% clip to finish the season. The expectation is to win at a 57% clip starting next season. 57%, a lot of freaking wins.
That is that puts you 51
That would put you at 50 wins.
Yeah, something
that's
like
a lot of freaking wins. Like that's where you need to start coming off of this season. I get it's a loss. I get you lost in the play-in, but like the expectation should be when we were in this part of the season, we were on par with 50-win teams. That's what you need to be that's what should have been said yesterday in the presser.
Yeah, and we'll continue this conversation because that's a great point that I want to pick up on. But first, we do got to get into a message from Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivered incredible results. Posting a job is free and simple, and within a day, with multiple qualified candidates to choose from. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale my business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today. Yeah. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
So it's actually 47 wins.
It's a 47 win pace.
47 wins.
I think that, you know what? I'm not mad at that.
Big jump.
I mean, it is technically it's only a jump of 8 games. And when you think about the way that this season started, right? How there wasn't a rhythm. Josh Giddey was hurt. Coby changed roles. I don't think that that's necessarily not a bad mark to try to say, hey, how close to what you said 47? How 47. Close to 47 wins can we get? Right?
47 wins is the 6th seed.
What did I say? Make a similar leap to Detroit. Detroit was the 6th seed this year, right?
That's not a similar leap to Detroit. That's Detroit.
Well, I mean, as far as the place that they are right now.
That's crazy.
The place that they, the place that they are right now. But I don't think that that's a bad mark. Basically, you're saying, can we avoid the play-in next year?
Yeah.
And if we can avoid the play-in next year, I feel confident at that point of Giddey would already have his money. Coby, you got your money. Aya, what was your role? You got your money. Now let's go and find somebody who complements what we have here, right? You'll have Modest, who's in his 2nd year. You have a rookie. At that point, they'll be going into his 3rd year. You'll have a rookie coming out of their first year in the NBA, and maybe that's the route to go. I don't think that that's a bad mark to say. It's like, hey, you finished the season on this pace. Can you get there? And even if you can't get to 47 wins, can you avoid the play-in? Because, that's going to be in the Eastern Conference. You never know. You can get 43 wins and avoid the play-in some years in the Eastern Conference, so you just never know.
Shoot, the year the Heat went, wasn't it 37?
I mean, they made it out the play-in, though.
No, I'm saying, like, the 6th seed was like 37 wins. Like, it was a trash season. Like,
it was a weird year. So we'll see what happens. So, like I said, I understand it. I do think the messaging, the way that you could have messaged that to where people could have gotten along with it, gone along with it a little bit more, could have been better. But that goes back to what me and you said many times about AK. AK is terrible at communicating things. He needs to hire us.
Bro, I'm not going to lie to you.
Could you imagine me and you coming out on a press conference? AK's like, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna tell them we're not changing anything. And when you roll out there like, okay.
Look. You remember the anger translator for Barack Obama? We AK's black translators.
Yeah.
I am going to call on my black translators to come out and explain plan to me.
That is hilarious, man.
Nah, man. Listen, the thing for me right now with where the Bulls is that listen, I do think the second half of the season was not a fluke. It was not useless wins, shall we say? And I know the play-in loss has people feeling that way. This is best case scenario. The goal is to avoid the play-in, but you saw some real growth in Coby White. You saw some real growth in Josh Giddey. You saw some real growth in Modest Buzelis. You saw Modest Buzelis break through a rookie wall. We haven't seen a player break through a rookie wall in Chicago in a long time, yo. So like when I see stuff like that, it's like, okay, there's something to actually build on going into next season. You've also still got your lottery pick. Now, I keep joking about, the Bulls going to get that first overall pick because nobody wants Cooper Flagg down in New Orleans, which I do think the NBA would hate. But
listen, they got to stop getting number one overall picks. Bro, AD, Zion, if they get Cooper, like just no more number one picks for Pelicans. Like, let's just let them pick 5 for a while. Let's see what they can do with 5. They couldn't do nothing with number one.
I'm telling you, if I'm Cooper Flagg, I'm effing this draft up.
Bro, if I'm Cooper Flagg,
I'm Cooper Flagg and I look at the teams that's up at 1, I'm like, I'm going back to college.
Well, I mean, by the time the lottery happens, they have to. No, they don't. No, they still have that like 2 weeks before they got to commit. So, yeah.
But no, I think the big thing in all of this is that the lack of, like, even with Pat Williams, his comments about Pat Williams were insane. Hey, Pat knows he had a bad season, but we're gonna keep an eye. You're gonna keep an eye on it. Hey, brother, you gave this man $90 million. He put up 14 minutes in cardio in a play-in game.
Bro,
I could have put up $14 million in cardio for half of what Pat Williams.
We're gonna keep an eye out on your former 4th overall pick that you just paid $90 million to. Is crazy, bro. That's crazy work.
If Patrick Williams at any point hits, AK is living in 2004. Like that's how like players back then used to hit. It'd be like, no, it usually takes about 8 years for you to find yourself in the league and develop. Like that, people don't do that anymore. Like Eddie Curry hitting his 7th season. You know what I mean? Like that don't happen in the league no more, bro. Nobody's doing this.
Bro, you know what? And shout out to Joe Cowley for asking the tough questions. As much as I have my issues with Joe, he's been on AK's rear end in these pressures the last
ass on Locked On.
Can we say ass? I can't remember, bro. I'll be trying to clear it up.
Nick gonna send him a text. No.
But it just, somebody needs to really ask AK to give a real evaluation of P. Will. And then when he tries to say that whole, he did some things we like, he did some things that we had. What did you like, AK? What is it that you like?
Give me the notes. I don't want to hear the evaluation. What your notes say?
Because like if you're looking at patents, like, yeah, we see some things that we still, we feel like the $90 million contract, we're still going to get value out of that. I don't trust nothing you say at that point anymore, bro. It's nothing you say. It's like having a homeboy that every time he be like, man, there's some bad chicks over there, and they all ugly every single time. I'm not gonna believe you anymore, bro. I'm not believing you no more. The next time you be like, hey, man, there's some baddies over here. I'm good, my boy. I'm not coming over there.
Hey, I like this. I like this comment from Jordan. He said, I'm not even a fan of this team, and it's frustrating. Like, just blow it up at this point.
That's the problem. Technically, listen, if you lose your 2 highest usage rate players and you send them off, plus your best role player in Alex Caruso, you send them all off within a 6-month time period, that's usually looked at as a rebuild. The problem is that AK, he falls in love with everybody that comes through here. He falls in love with everybody, bro. Everybody ain't your soulmate, man.
Yeah. It's a wild situation that we're even having this conversation yet again. But AK like to pay the strippers, man. That's what it comes down to, bro.
It's crazy.
AK falls in love with the strippers at the strip club all the time. We didn't get to none of this.
You say AK be hanging out with T-Pain?
Yeah. He gonna try to put you up in a log cabin up in Aspen. Hey man, we do got to do a couple of topics now in this final segment, which I mean, listen, they deserve exactly where they're at. These are third segment topics. Well, but before we do that, we do got to tell you guys all about Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go every single day? Between dining out and online shopping and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch Money, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you got to say that quicker, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half a year off your first year, for half off your first year. Half a year off your first year is crazy. I take 6 months. I kept taking 6 months out of the year. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
We're going to charge you the same price, but take 6 months off your subscription.
I'm taking 6 months off the subscription.
If that ain't how a used car salesman was trying to spend that.
I thought you said it was 50% off for 6 months. No, I said it was 100% for 6 months off.
That is hilarious. Pat, I know we've kind of talked about all these topics in and out of here, right? Like we've bounced in and out.
Yeah.
Is there anything in these pressers that you want to make sure that we talk about before? There's one thing that I want to make sure, but I want to make sure you get a chance if there's anything that you really want to talk about.
Listen, let Vooch go. He's ready. Like, just start playing Pretty Wings by Maxwell and let Vooch go, bro. Vooch is dying. Vooch literally was up there. He was like, I love these guys, man. I just, really love Coby, love what this young core is building. I think there's a lot here. I'm tired. like Vooch looked like Old Yeller. I was like, do we need to put him down? Like, what's going on out here, dog? That was really my big takeaway from yesterday. Nobody else said anything. Lonzo was talking. I was like, what the heck are you even doing here, bro?
I mean, Lonzo, yeah, but bro, they've done that. You remember they've done that the last 3 years. You remember when he was
he showed up to the preseason one.
Yeah, he showed up. Not this past, because we knew he was coming back this past preseason, but 2 ago at media day in a full uniform. That was the only time he had wore the uniform in 3 years.
Bro, he was on the little rolling thing.
Yeah, in a full uniform. Like, why? What are we doing?
Why did y'all make this man put on a full uniform to roll out?
Bro, that's so crazy. But the thing that you brought up Lonzo, right? Like, I love that Lonzo did say, like, hey, I realized I lost a little athleticism. That's why my jump shot wasn't the same. I'm going to have a full off season. And basically wants to try to get his jump shot back. Like, and that's something you really don't think about. Like, yeah, he had knee surgery. While everything else looked good, his playmaking, his defense, all that stuff looked really good. That jump shot was the one thing you're looking at in this game was like that. It wasn't what we're used to seeing from Lonzo. So hopefully he can do that, but it's hard to shoot when you don't have a wrist. So,
Yeah, I think if you're talking about somebody coming off of the bench, right? Lonzo has to be able to shoot to be a threat. So of course you always gotta say it, but the shot may not come back. This wrist injury has been something that's popped up multiple times throughout his career. And hopefully he's not dealing with another surgery here, but the situation
no surgery is going to be needed. He did.
Yeah. But the situation in the long run, we've heard that before. No surgery is going to be needed. Lonzo died for 3 years. The situation that I think is going to be impactful for Lonzo in the long run is, can you still see the game the same way? I don't think that he's a starter at this point in his NBA career. Unfortunately, I do think he's going to be back. The fact that they paraded him up there, and I don't think that he's going to be one of the pieces moved at any point, which means Trey Jones is probably not back on this team. But it's just, like the Lonzo's situation is exactly what we've been talking about now for 3 years. I can't believe we gave this dude an extension. Like, what are you waiting for? And they're trying. This is literally Nuggets. He's trying to have this Jamal Murray loyalty. Remember this was a conversation around Jamal Murray for like 5 seasons. Then he had 1 year where it was like, I'm kind of healthy and I'm really good in the playoffs. And now he's back to being hurt almost every year.
I mean, I think he still was hurt every year then. He just was healthy at the right times. Like, Jamal Murray has had his second season, he played 80 games. Other than that, 74. He's played over 60 games twice. Other than
and the 74 year is the year that they won the finals, ain't it? No,
that would have been the year. No, because they just won the finals 2 years ago. So that would have been the year 65? He won 65. Yeah.
So he's had 3 hot seasons, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and it is that AK still has that loyalty, just like they had out there in Denver. Listen, Mike Malone was there for 10 years. 10 years, a long time for an NBA head coach. Billy Donovan gonna be here for 10 years.
But see, the difference is Mike Malone had 8 seasons, 8 straight of winning records. Like, I get it, right? But it's like he's understanding the wrong things, bro. But you know,
he's like, we do it just like Denver. It was like, but with the wrong people. Not the right people.
At this point, it's above me. That's just the way I look at all this stuff. It's above me now. Like, I'm just here to talk about the team, bro. Like, I love the team. I'm always gonna love the franchise. But some of this stuff, bro, I just look at it and I just be like, yep, that tracks. And that's all I can really say about it anymore, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what this Bulls team is. It's what it's going to be. And your hope now is that you can get a top 5 pick. The one thing that I don't know. I still believe this, and maybe it's naive. I do believe that if we ever got the right formula, AK would actually start to make really aggressive moves. And then people would be like, well, see, he stopped sitting on his hand. It was like, no, he got a star.
Well, yeah, I completely agree with you there, Pat. If Modest turns into the star, or whoever, like once somebody actually turns into that star, I think that we are going to see a very aggressive AK. I think at that point, Captain Carney, who we talked to, like the Batman. Remember when we thought AK had a plan to everything? Carney! I think all that's going to come back, but like until then, it's just like, it is what it is, bro. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, listen, anymore. You swung with your first iteration of the team and missed woefully, and you got to find another star. You thought Zach LaVine was a star, which is probably where you went wrong.
Meanwhile, over in Bulls West, did you see that they hired the guy who literally was like, Zach LaVine's terrible. Zach LaVine has no 40-win season. They hired that guy as the team's new GM, who literally was just on ESPN like a month ago going in on Zach LaVine. Can you imagine what that meeting has to feel like, bro?
Hey, bro, it probably feels like a 6-pack of Cap. Hey, Zach, we really believe in you, man. We love everything that you bring to this team. And,
listen, it may be too much of the homeland in me, because if you talk that much stuff about me and then I sit down to you face to face, you're like, we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna be like, no, what was that crap you was talking, bro? Like, what are we doing here?
When you make as much as Zach LaVine do, you don't worry about how much.
And that's what I mean. That's the pettiness in me.
How much
I don't care how much I make. If you was going in on me that bad at my career, and then you was like, hey, we really believe in what you can do here with the Sacramento Kings. I'm like, all right, that's all fine and dandy, but what was that about? I'm sorry.
We can have a very aggressive conversation, but I ain't putting my hands on nobody for $47 million.
Oh yeah, I didn't say putting my hands on you. I'm talking about this conversation. No.
Yeah, no, I'll call you out. I'll call you out.
Zach LaVine throws punches like this.
Yeah, probably. I ain't never seen Zach get involved in an altercation. So
exactly.
To be honest,
every time an altercation happened when the Chicago Bulls with Zach LaVine was on the court, he was standing in the corner. He never got in anybody's face.
Bro. Nah, he did. When? One of them Pistons mugs.
You're right.
They tried to pull the Isaiah Stewart tried to buck up.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. It was.
Buck up. He got into it with some others in Charlotte. The game winner game. Like, I guess Zach hit you with a don't do that. Don't do that. We're not doing that. Don't do that.
What we doing over here? Is this really what we want to do? Anyway, let's get up out of here, Pat.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to show and love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls.
You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked on Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, Fubo TV, and more. Thank you guys for sitting with us through a whole season. Well, Pat through a half a season when he came back in. He took a couple of months break, came right back in after a Pelicans loss. He left after a Pelicans loss, which is crazy. We appreciate you guys so much, man. We'll see you guys on Monday. Love you guys. Go Bulls. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Thank you.
Are you looking?